Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Build live from Oak Hill Works. This week we not only have the volume not muted, we also have the microphone turned on. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. How is everyone today? I hope you are well. I really need to breathe more during my intros, but you know. Good D1 evening. Hello, James. Indeed, it is a good D1 evening. Lovely, lovely. Hello, Corbs. How are you, sir? The house hasn't caught fire yet. No, it has not. I'm a good cook. So, yes, D1. Of course, there's many more things than I was. A carriage rather than many. Yes, a carriage, a new carriage. Well, we have a loco as well. Good evening, Heritage Railway. Good evening, Heritage Railway Productions. How are you this evening? My name is Gary. I can English. Honest. It is a Roxy Mouldings 1909 Brighton push pull. It was pointed out to me on eBay and it had to be mine. It is indeed an A1, and that is because when these push-pull carriages were first built in 1909, shock horror, they ran as a single carriage with a terrier. So that there, other than the fact this needs backdating, is a prototypical rake. Good evening, Linny. How are you this evening? Good evening, Luke. Good evening, Monkey. I hope you are both well. Welcome. Isn't this fantastic way to get the stream started? So many people in the chat. But yes, the carriage was shown to me on eBay by Linny. And it had to be mine. Not only is it an appropriate Brighton carriage, it needs very little doing to it to backdate. It's mainly panelling round the ends. The roof isn't attached yet, which is good because there is some rather nasty glue marks on the windows, so they all need to come out. The bogies are wired up for lighting, and she has a very nicely detailed interior. Someone has put a lot of effort into this carriage. And if all I need to do is redo the end, replace the windows, and give it a repaint, and fit some couplings, I don't think that's too bad. And with then the fact it's got the detailed interior, it's got all the wiring set up for lighting already, it's going to get lighting as well. I paid less than less than the asking price for a kit new as well, so it really was a bargain. Hello, Malcolm Robinson. Thank you for subscribing and setting off my terrier whistle. That came out of nowhere. God, I forget about these things and then they happen. Welcome to the channel. I see we found my commands and we're looking at the new ones already. And yes, I have, for those seeing that command, I have set up a team on Folding at Home to help simulate proteins to help in the search for a cure and vaccine against the coronavirus. So do sign up when you download Folding at Home. Sign up. When you sign up, tap in the team number, and we can all work together to beat this thing that's keeping us locked in. I like to say we're beating the lockdown by being here on a Sunday evening and meeting together. But if we do that, we really can beat the lockdown. I thought that this was something to do with folding brass kits. No, no, not at all. Let's well and truly beat the lockdown by beating the virus. So, the D1. Lots of work to do on it. Actually, a bit more than I was thinking about when I came up with the title for this stream. But shush, we don't need to worry about that. Very helpfully, had a delivery from Linny. Well, I mean, technically from Peter's Spares through the week, but courtesy of Linny, with the smoke box door handle and some handrail knobs to finish the kit off. So we need to get those all on there tonight. We need to not drop all the spare parts for making it into an E1 everywhere. We need to get the sprung buffers on it tonight. And right now we don't need to worry about whatever that part was that I dropped on the floor, because it was an E1 part. Pretty sure it was anyway, I can't see it. We're going to pretend it was an E1 part and we're going to get on with these, whether it was an E1 part or not, really. I thought this was something to do with folding brass kits. No. I think folding proteins to beat the coronavirus is much more important than brass kits. We can all get out and buy more brass kits from shows once we've beaten that. If that's not motivation, I don't know what is. So, step 1, let's turn the soldering iron on. And get a smoke box door handle built. Because of course Linny is right with what they said last week. Much better to have one of these than a white metal one. Doesn't need much opening up to that hole to get that to fit. Oh yes, that's about right. Convenient. It's fitted with the one I use for drilling pilot holes normally, because I was drilling some pilot holes with it earlier. There we go. Fits nicely now. I can see what I'm doing, honest gal. On an unrelated note, I'm going to get my glasses and put them on. Totally unrelated note. Like threading a needle, indeed, Linny, just like threading a needle. Although I can thread needles quite well. Darn, I thought I had that there. I could see the holes, I thought I'd try. There we go. I know where the hole was a second ago. There it is. Good quality handrail stanchions. Indeed, they are good quality ones that Linny has sent. So there we see, well, you don't because it's out of focus. But both bars fit, which is good. That's what I wanted to check. I didn't want to do any soldering of them together until we knew that they both fit on. I didn't doubt it being Market's ones, but you can't be too careful, can you? That was almost me punching the camera. It was more the camera getting caught on my watch. Apply a small amount of flux. Remember that the inner handle, the one closest to the smoke box door, should be pointing down. The outer one could be at any angle. Indeed, it can. You are quite right. Because, of course, the inner one moves the bar inside that holds the door shut. The outer one screws into it to stop that being able to move. For those that don't know, there are some things I know about steam engines, just not many things. So with that bit of flux applied the way it is, this solder should now flow quite nicely all the way down through. That's getting some uses of my cousin's been sending me pictures of her kittens this week. Very small and furry. Oh, very nice. Very nice, James. Prove of knowing things at steam engine. Exactly, well put about the smoke box dart. See, I learned that fact of steam engines because of modelling. And the solder has flowed very nicely down, and they are both held in place now. They were born in her stable. Oh, very nice. Very nice indeed. So now we need to cut down all the excesses on this. I'm now going to apply a tiny bit of solder to the back of this for soldering to the smoke box door. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the right size of dart, so the handles are a bit long, correct size was out of stock. Well, I can cut these ones down. But let's see it on the loco first before I do that. Of course, we want to give it a second to cool down before we actually touch it. I need to clean up that solder still, but we want to see the size of these on here to get an idea of how much they need cutting down. So you can see that they are, I mean, they're not overly obviously too long, but they are still quite clearly too long. They could use with losing probably about as much as I'm holding in the pliers there, to be honest. See if we can get this to focus somewhere near where we want to be, eh? That's too much I'm holding in the pliers now. But yeah, so we ideally want them cut down to roughly what I'm holding in the pliers there. Because they're not obviously over long, but they are over long. That's about 1.5 mil off the end, roughly. I reckon you could lose at least 1/3 of the handrail length. I mean, we're not far off that with what I'm cutting here. And now they look much better. Of course, we're not surprised by that, are we, really? We expected them to look much better. Now, there is the slight problem of I've put a tiny bit too much on the back for tinning them up. So we just want to lose a bit of that. And of course, we don't want to be touching it whilst losing a bit of that. That's much better now. Yes, that's sitting nice and flush against there now, just what we wanted. We want to apply some flux to the door itself. We want to turn the iron right down as well whilst we're at it. Now, we wouldn't want to go at white metal with a 400-degree iron. That would be bad. Trust me, I know. I approve of flush. It's good for indoor sanitation. It is indeed, James. It is indeed very good for indoor sanitation. So how is everyone doing tonight? I hope we are all well and having as good a time of lockdown as we can. Please don't melt my loco. No, that's the idea, is to not melt your loco, Linny. We are just waiting for the temperature to drop. It's on its way down. Don't drink the locos, please. I approve of not melting Linny's loco. As do I. I approve of not melting Linny's loco. Did well. I've been working on train controller this weekend. You are quite correct there, James. Hydration is important. Doing pretty well. Getting the carriages ready for the D1 to pull. Excellent. I suppose it's only right that you get your carriages ready to pull for the D1 now that you've made me get a carriage for my terrier to pull. Whilst I got a bargain on it, I did pay more than I planned on paying, but that's the joys of eBay, isn't it? You see something you really want and you're always more expensive than I was going to pay, and then you bid again anyway. At least that's what I do. I'm sure I'm not alone in that. Hope I'm not alone in that. There we go, that's where we want it. Myriad of the joys of eBay. Indeed they are, James, indeed they are. However, no eBaying for the carriages, that is true. Because of course, you have much better ways of manufacturing these things than me. Is that tacked on well enough now? Yes, that's tacked in place now. So we can apply a bit more solder elsewhere without worry of it instantly falling out. Of course, do not want to use much solder. That blob I've just put on was actually a bit too much for the area I could get at, but that's okay, we can sort that out. And there we go. Dartmouth Julie Flush, it is indeed. I shall give you all a quick look at it now that it's on. This evening no suicidal Lego men here, please. Stay up on your perch. It is in fact this evening that I'm starting the live in. Wish me luck. Oh, good luck. Good luck indeed. And there we have a sufficiently mounted smoke box dart. It is pointing down. I realise it doesn't quite look it on camera, but if I spin it round, you can kind of see it is. Best Linny line in wishes. So, that is that job jobbed. Wahey. Now, of course, what we haven't done, or didn't get done last week, was the handrail knobs on the smoke box front. So we do indeed need to do that this evening. And as if by magic, I have a bit of brass wire, formed to the right curve to do that. It's almost like I was planning it. Please get any rumours of me planning it out of your head. Planning is not something I am known for, honestly. Oh, look, there's a plug for my Twitter from the chat bot. If you're not already following me on Twitter, you should. I use it to promote what I do here. Another way of finding out what I do here would be to drop down below and press that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, and then YouTube will alert you whenever I upload a video or go live. Is that enough shilling? Do you plan not to plan for things? I do not, it just kind of happens. Whilst you're pressing the subscribe button, I'd really love a like as well. Like this shape, thumbs up. Although if you don't like the video, if you don't like the live stream, stick around to the end so you can get a proper impartial idea on whether you like it or not. And then hit that dislike button. And leave me a comment for feedback on what you think I could improve. Always willing to listen to feedback. They go in, that's what matters. Let's apply some flux to them. And get them in. There we go. Now I've just got to not move them. Sadly, we can't simultaneously like and dislike the video, but we can change our mind with a very high frequency. You can indeed, but it only counts the last one that you do. And if you can't make up your mind whether to like or dislike, eeny, meeny, miny, moe it. The last one was a like, if that's any help. It is indeed, James, it is indeed. That is what we like. We like likes. I approve of liking my content. And there we have handrail knobs, as well as the dart. With an overly long bit of grass to get them on there. Now, I am not attaching handrails, I am supplying the handrails pre-cut to Linny. But because Linny is doing the painting, I will not be fitting the handrails to make Linny's job of lining much easier. I approve of your approval of my approval of your content and your content. Excellent, James. Glad to hear it. Very glad indeed. That D1 does look splendidly Victorian. It does, doesn't it? Stroudley had an amazing quintessentially Victorian style to his locos, and I do indeed very much love it. Linny has the difficult bit. Indeed, Linny does have the difficult bit. Provided I can get some printer ink, I'm going to supply a set of transfers for it, minus names. But I need to get some printer ink first. I had a look for printer ink in Tesco today. They had none. Well, I had some, but none that fits my printer, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'll just provide Linny a PDF of the lining transfers. So, sprung buffers. This is the right side. Yes, that's what I thought. We will do the pilot hole with this because I don't have use of a drill that will take this because we do these things late at night and I have neighbours. I can see all the other bits in there. We're not going to be making these up on the loco, so why not get a set of parts out and show you how they work for those that don't remember. I'm pretty sure these are the same style of buffers as I've used on my K class, possibly the D class. So they are very simple. We have the buffer head and shank. We have the collar that is soldered to the buffer beam. We have a tiny, tiny spring. There is a spring there, I promise. No, it's not going to show you. And we have a nut. The spring goes on here. This goes through the hold. And then the bolt goes on the back. giving us a sprung buffer. When storing these, I generally like to put the springs on there and then put the bolt on the back, because that means I know they're not going missing. So I am going to do that with all of these bits, and that way I know they will arrive with Linny safely. Two buffers two springs wrapped around each other here. There we go, separated without losing one, he says, as he knocks one and loses it. You would not believe how many of these springs I have. Actually, you probably would. Doesn't want to go on this one. We'll have to look into that. Goes onto that one fine. No, I've no idea where I knocked that spring to, so I'll have to stick one of my many spares on that one. Never mind. The spring was certainly in the air today. It seems it's also in Linny's buffers too. Indeed it was. It's been a wonderful day. Very much a shame we can't get out to enjoy it. Never mind, we will beat this, and to help beat it, you know what you have to do? You have to press ! Folding in the chat and get a command for joining my folding at home group. Incidentally, if you're after new commands, how about trifle now? We'll wait for it getting warm up. Ooh, trifle. So, occasionally I like to point out on this stream that I never lose anything. So there is that spring that we just sent flying. I got out, went into my back garden, hung up my washing. I mean, yes, I got out into the garden. But not much further than that. So yeah, with the re-emergence of that spring, I maintain that I never lose anything on this live stream. And they can go in the box where they are safe. There's your response to the command ooh trifle. Right, hang on a second, James. No, James, not even my marbles. I would have to have them to start with. Right, there you go, James. Enjoy. New commands. I approve of new commands. Yep, there you go. You can try out your shiny new command. It is very shiny and new. No, I've not. No, we're not going to have a command for my marbles. No one's ever going to find them. So we drill through the centre of where the buffers once were. Let's say that command is more than a trifle delightful. Excellent. That's what we like. We aim to please here at OPL Works. We'll do that for the ones at the back as well whilst we're doing it. And whilst I do that, I'm going to ask how everyone is, and do we have our own projects on the go this evening? What are we up to whilst I work on this D1? Oh, and there's some links coming from Mr. Alex the Mole. It's very much appreciated, sir. As you know, you're a fantastic mod. So what do we get there? We get Twitter, we get the website, we get the merch store, we get the Discord, we get the donation link, we get the Patreon. And we get the bot autonomously telling us that hydration is important. Still setting up train controller in very complicated ways. Currently making a Howard Petra again. Hello, Tom. How are you this evening? I hope you are well. These are very odd things, these petrels. I can't see where you put the coal in. Just destroyed my loco because I thought it was a good time to put the links in chat. Yep, fair enough. How did you destroy your loco? Have you got the gold for the lining on the first Stroudley carriage? Gonna need some tidying. I've got the gold for the lining on the first Stroudley carriage. Gonna need some tidying up though. Oh, very nice. Hand done lining always does need tidying up. But that is excellent, Linny. I really must get on with lining my Stroudleys because I do now have transfers for them. And it's exciting. So now we get to work our way through the pilot holes with a decent sized drill bit. Which is too big for the Archimedes drill. And I mean, not only is it quite late at night, being 9:45, I wouldn't want to put a power drill to the buffer beam of a white metal kit anyway. Forgot I turned auto fireman off the other day, ran out of water on a 1 in 50 hill. Ah, yes, that'll do it. I have heard steam locos like having water in their boilers. And that when steam locos don't have water in their boilers, you're gonna have a bad time. So whilst drilling like this with a drill bit may seem like a bit of a painstaking job, and whilst my fingers would probably agree with you, it's actually not that bad. Does train sim make you do the walk of shame for the nearest signal box to come for help? Sadly not. No. You could in Train Sim World though, if only it had Steam. Because Train Sim World has some absurd features in it. Remember that live stream where you got bored and got out your engine, walked all the way back through to the back of the train, and then jumped out the back whilst it was moving? Because of course, why wouldn't you? Indeed you could. Yes, see? I know my stuffs, apparently. I mean, I definitely don't, but if we don't tell anyone, they might not notice. Yeah, I do. It's amazingly easy to get bored in Train Sim World. Well, that's because it doesn't have Steam, Alex. That's what it is. It's missing Steam. It really needs Steam. Sounds like R2D. Sounds like Red Dead 2 trains. Yes. Although, from what I understand, Alex gets less bored by those. We're almost all the way through, everyone. We're at that point where it starts to get hard to turn because it's just poking through enough that the whole of the other side is no longer round. And is more drill bit shaped. There we go, and we've got plenty of room for the back of the buffer there. So that now sits in quite nicely. Go on, pretend you're going to focus at least. There we go. Drive along, quick gun battle, back on the power. Excellent. Trains were the only bit of Red Dead 2 I enjoyed, to be honest. I thought you enjoyed a bit more than that. I know you were very disappointed with it, but I thought there was more than that you enjoyed in it. Wouldn't it be easier with a tap wrench? It would be much easier with tools that I unfortunately don't have. You are quite right. But I don't have one. So as I say, my fingers might agree with you that it's looks like a painstaking job, but it's really not too bad. I struggle to remember liking much, but then it's been a while since I played it. Yeah, fair enough. The story and characters were good. See, that's more than just the trains. Okay, it's not much more, but it's more nonetheless. There's a bit of white metal on there, and that's bugging me. So much ruined it though. One of my favourite games I've ever played. Oh, shut up. You'll be glad to know, Alex, you're not the only person I've heard all these complaints from it. All these complaints about it from. Need to pick up a second long play up again. Oh, I've not played either of the Red Dead games. Just gonna throw that out there. Although I believe Alex actually knew that already. They're brilliant, ignore the haters. But I hear the first one is amazing. I've just never got around to playing it. There we go. Yep, we're through and fine on that one as well. So now we just need to do the same to the front and get them soldered on. I think whilst we're sat here, we will actually quickly turn the soldering iron up and tin up the backs of these. So whilst we're on the discussion of games, whilst I may not have played the Red Dead games, what I have done in the past is a lot of game development. I have made quite a few small little games in the past. Nothing good, but with this ongoing lockdown, I am getting the urge to sit and make a game. Now, I can throw a basic game together in an hour, but that's not what I'm after. I'm after something a bit more in depth. using some of the better editors that have come out since the last time I made a game. And obviously I am after something train related. I've got a few ideas going round in my head, but I will be sharing development info on this on my Discord server. So if you would like to follow this project, the place to be will be my Discord server, which you can find by typing !Discord into the chat. I'm here and totally not late. What did I not miss? Well, Becca, you'll be glad to know, because you are totally not late, you did not miss anything. You definitely haven't missed us putting holes for the buffers in the buffer beams. You haven't missed us look at how the sprung buffers work. You haven't missed the smoke box door and front handrail knobs go on. That is what you definitely haven't missed. Game development, interesting. What language? I've worked in a couple of different languages in the past. I've mainly worked in IDE-based stuff that have very little code actually needed, unless you're until you're writing the AI and stuff. But you know, drag and drop level editors and stuff, and sprite-based stuff is where I started. But the C-based languages mostly. I kill the game like Silent Hill, but instead of the hellish afterworld, everything turns to wood. Always contributing train extended if you know C++. I'm no good at Blender. If any 3D assets, I will have to have someone else make for me, unfortunately. Good evening. Why not wrap some insulating tape around the end of the drill shank? Might help. Good evening, Ian. That is a very good idea, actually. I'm pretty sure I've got some over here. So I do have some. I know exactly where it is. How are you this evening, Ian? I hope you are well. Good to know what I've definitely not missed. It is, isn't it, Becca? So how are you this evening? See, I was actually watching and I still missed all that. Brilliant. Right. You don't have to use Blender, you can work on coding. I mean, I like the idea of making a game myself from scratch, though. So I've got a few ideas in my head to what to do already. Someone mentioned 3D modelling. They did. But not in a physical weld sort of way. More a drawing assets for a computer game type of way. That's very hot still. I've totally not been playing TF2. Fair enough. Fair enough indeed. Much to be said for a spot of Blender. I do need to learn these things one day, James. I would love to, but the inspiration hasn't struck yet. we go. We got it off. Oak Hill 2, Strangler's Terroriser. Brilliant. Used to do a bit of asset making for MSTS back in the day. Ooh, very nice. Exactly what Alex says. Right, now we're going to turn the iron all the way back down. And we're going to take some electrical tape and wrap it around the drill bit. That was a very good idea, Ian. Most of the buildings I didn't have software that could handle animations. Fair enough. Okay, until I was offered some help with 3D design last night, I hadn't even considered the idea of making a 3D game. All my games in the past have been generally 2D. The furthest my 3D stuff went was making isometric games. Because although I can't do 3D modelling, I can draw. So there was a lot of sprite-based stuff. One can't go wrong with a good building, indeed not. I'm going to tape a little bit, going a little bit lower down on this. You could try making a 1D game, that'd be an interesting challenge. Sprite-based stuff. Yes, back when I used to make games, a lot of the stuff I did was sprite-based. Like, you know, classic platformers. Where you use image sprites rather than models of anything. I have made a couple of platformers in the past. Well, that's no good. That bit of tape is slipping down. That was silly. Oh, I've lost some good sprites. Could make a platform game involving trains. I could. I've made a couple of platform games. I've made racing games. I've made many like dungeon crawler style, but top-down games. Yeah, top-down dungeon crawlers. I'm pretty sure that's the right description for most people to know. Give a new meaning to the genre name. It would indeed, James. It would indeed. Really should dig out my old copy of OpenTTD, or just download a new copy because they add so much stuff to it. It's a really good game. We have hit that point where the hole is no longer round. And there's that one, fitting nicely. Just one more hole to drill, and then we'll be ready to attach the buffer shanks. Whoever told you modelling was fast was lying. I hear rumours that hydration is important. Would it be put mine to the gap? Brilliant. Why am I doing that? I don't want to do that yet. Yeah, it's been a while since I've wanted to do nerdy computer things. That all of a sudden hit me a couple of days ago, and I've been mulling it over. I want to get back in and try doing some simple bits before I go into too much detail about what my ideas are, though. But it is now announced, and as I say, if you want to follow progress, I will be posting it to Discord. So join my Discord server, !Discord for the link, because I don't know what it is, to find out. As we are here, we are just over an hour in. I'd like to remind everyone, in case you hadn't noticed, there's a bit of an illness going round. It's not a very nice one. It's causing some real issues, and what that illness needs is a cure. Luckily, there are people working on that cure. One of the things they need is the simulation of proteins and how they react to things and how they work, and they need lots of computing power for that. The more computing power they have, the better. You can join in and help. Hit !Folding in the chat for a link to download Folding at Home, which is an application that these people can put their proteins into, and they are then sent out to whoever's downloaded to run the simulation. When you sign up, use the team number that appears from my command, and then we can all work together as part of a team to beat the coronavirus. And I should point out that the Folding at Home application will not slow your computer down at all. It only uses what your computer isn't, and it gets the lowest level priority. So in fact, my laptop, which is running the live stream, is also running that as we speak. It has been running it for about a week now. I've had no problems from it, so I know it's definitely still as good as it was when I used to do it years ago to help with things. And I mean, I'm currently the only member of the Oak Hill Model Railway team on there, and I've got the team up from, there's 250,000 teams on there, and I believe I'm sitting at about 40,000-ish in position, so we're making a difference. Let's beat this thing. You can't beat it with a sledgehammer, but you can beat it with your spare processor cycles. And if you don't know what that means, that's fine, you don't need to. So we're going to flux up the buffer beans and get some buffers attached. Because we can. So yes, Corbs has put the command in. You can see there the team ID is 261990. If you put that in as your team ID when you are signing up, that will join you into Team Oak Hill Model Railway. That's that tapped on. With a bit too much solder, if I'm being completely honest. Got surrounding the whole thing, that's the right amount of solder. Why? You can't have too much flux. Indeed you cannot. Thank you for that, Corbs. I love it when my flux commands come out. And I love any of my regular sayings coming out as commands. Too much on there, don't want that much. And there we go, 2 buffer shanks. Brake bands, you can't have too many brake bands for your good stock. That is very true. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I said in that video. Evidently, there will be another trip to Birch Hill in this week's Tuesday video. There has been huge amounts of progress made there this week. The boy has really been going for it with that. Although I will admit there's some bits I've been doing today with him that were definitely more me doing them than him doing them. There's a good reason for that. Yes, there is. But I don't want to spoil the video by telling you what these things are. You'll just have to watch on Tuesday. Or at a later date if you so choose. Because it won't be going anywhere. Let's tilt it up. That was silly. Good thing about white metal solder is you can melt it quite easily. Give it a second to cool down. Not cool enough yet. That's better. That's much nicer. And there we go, bumper shanks are attached. Clean all the excess flux off them. I often forget to do this on stream and end up doing it afterwards. Maybe I should do it more on stream to remind you that you do have to clean up the flux. It won't just stay looking good all the time. Now, something else Linny wants to do, and is in fact started work on, is a cab interior. So we need to give it something for that cab interior to go round. Linny has given it a very nice looking back head already. If you could post pictures, I would let Linny post a picture here now, but that's not how these things work, unfortunately. So we are going to get some plasticard and make a representative of the shape of the cab that will stay completely removable, meaning when this gets to Linny, they can pop it out, put the back head on, put the people in, and then pop it in like that. But I've just realised before we do that, we've never actually soldered this Westinghouse pump in place. It's always just kind of sat there. So let's do that before we move on to building a cab interior. Terrible photo back head for the D1. There we go. A link to the picture, courtesy of Linny. So you can see that there is already work going on in Linnyland for this loco. Meanwhile, I am going to have a quick look through my plasticard box here, because I don't just want regular plasticard for this. I do have some planked plasticard for the floor, and there it is. It's almost like I planned it. Warning, soldering your Westinghouse pump can have negative effects on braking ability. Crews should plan accordingly. Westinghouse brake anchors available from all good stockists. Brilliant, Alex. I am also going to refill the now empty hydration vessel. So yes, what we are going to provide, Linny, is essentially going to be a U shape of plastic art. We have a planked piece to make the floor, and just a plain piece for making the front and back. I'm going to first put this on here, have a quick eyeball on how high the chassis goes in this. Right, it does not actually reach cab floor height. Remember, kids, hydration is overrated. Wait, no, that's wrong. That is wrong, Alex. Hydration is important. How is the kit coming along, Gary? It's coming along very, very well. I'm just putting myself back into standard definition, because if I wear those glasses for too long, they really play havoc with my eyes for quite a while afterwards. They are only for doing close-up work, and anything I can manage without them is much better for me to manage without them. But yes, Max, we have got brass smoke box door dart, we have got smoke box handles, we have got buffer shakes. So she's coming along well. She's now going to get a cab door. As I say, quite conveniently, the chassis does not come up to cab floor height. So we're going to do a bit of scratch building. Which means I need a pen and I need a ruler. I even checked early which way the planks go in my D1, because that also has a planked floor, but that came with the kit because it's a later one. Good, 2 carriage size line now. Excellent, Linny. Of course, you know at the rate this is going, you're going to have all those carriages done before I have this D1 done. We want a piece that is 22 millimetres. I'm not soldering, I don't need this, and the soldering iron can actually be turned off for a change. So that is not very straight. I mean, it's sort of straight, but it's got a bumpy bit. The top of it is straight. There we go, now the bottom bit is also straight. .22 millimetres is conveniently just where the join in that next plank is. Not likely I need to cut the other 2 full breaks yet. Ah, fair enough. You'll have all the ones that you've actually got done. Looks like progress is coming along splendid. I wear glasses constantly, I'm sure you'll get used to them. But they're just for detailed work on the models. Yeah, I'm not sure. They are purely for when I'm doing things close up, Max, because I'm long sighted. So everyday life I do not need them. So yeah, there's actually, just here we want to run down the lines where this actually lines up on the moulding, so I don't even need to draw it. That is perfect. Question is, how far back are we going? 1 more plank than where I've already scored. And actually, we should go further back, that's where we need to get thinner. If I go back to another 3 planks, That will be how long we need for the entire length of the cab floor. Just for those last 3 planks, we need to be slightly thinner. Okay, my eyes are the opposite of yours. I take glasses off for modelling. Maybe this is why I like Engage. Maybe, James, maybe. Now, I do have a problem in that this is my last blade for this knife, and it lost its tip the other day. I have no idea how. The tip literally just fell off. I wasn't even using it at the time. Installing the cab floor now, making the cab floor and walls. They won't be permanently installed until this is back with Linny. Yeah, if I was doing this with it when it snapped, I'd completely understand. But I wasn't even using it at the time, it just kind of fell off. And there is the bot, unprompted, wanting to let us know hydration is important. I take my glasses off, can't see things 4 inches in front of my face. I mean, that's sort of the problem I have, Alex. The difference is I can see things further than 4 inches. I've never understood long-sightedness. It seems really weird to me. There. I don't get how I can see things that are far away but not things that are close. It just doesn't seem right. Yep, that's exactly what we were after. It's the right width. It's the right length. It just needs that little extra bit. Chopping there and there. The length of 3 planks. That Suburban coach that's somewhat familiar. Who's it by? It looks like a Hornby Double product, but I could be mistaken. You're very mistaken. As Alex said, it's a Roxy Mouldings LB&SCR push-pull coach. Very, very mistaken. We don't have Hornby Double here, we have things with good levels of detail. Best not get my pair of R1s out after saying that, have I? And so there is our cab floor. At exactly the length and width it needs to be. I probably want to cut away a bit more for the wheels to have access inside the splashers. I mean, I know I do, but I wanted to get that shape to fit in the hole first. That's 1 plank's width. That is exactly 1 plank's width. And we want to go $3mm from that one plank's width. I bought the coach on eBay, Max. It is not a work of mine. It needs work doing to it. Because it's in too modern a condition for me. But that will come. The price I got it for was an absolute bargain. I couldn't say no to it. Question reads, traveller carriage in mahogany cell bars and buffer beams too. I believe mine are painted soul bars black. Buffer beams, I believe, are mahogany though. 2 seconds, I'll be right back, everyone. And I return. I have a picture here of a Bluebell Stroudley All First number 661. It has black soul beams and buffer beams. And as we are looking in the livery book, I'm going to say that they picked that picture because it's accurate. So yeah, he's black soul bars and buffer beams on this picture. Oh, relaxing music. I'm really glad people do enjoy the music that I put and find it relaxing. That was genuinely what I was going for. Bluebell ones are on modern steel underframes though, not the wooden ones the LB&SCR used. No, but I can't see them having used the picture in the book as an example if it's wrong. That is my thinking. You know, the carriage itself is painted mahogany, so I'm sure they could have used mahogany paint on the soul bars and buffer beams if that was what it was. The eternal question of how accurate preservation paint work, I know. I wouldn't normally trust preservation paint work, but it's in the official livery book. And I don't really have time to read it properly at the moment. I mean, there are some period pictures there, obviously, and I do think it could easily be that they are black. Okay. So we're going to break a copyright here. Don't kill me, YouTube. This is for educational purposes. If we look at this picture, and specifically this corner, the underframe looks darker not only than the side of the body, but also darker than the end of the buffer being there. Now, I could be wrong on that, but that is my opinion. That is a diagram 45. Argue amongst yourselves. The lawyer is running to the phone as we speak. Indeed they are. I showed a copyright image on YouTube. How dare I? Right, so now need to hope that I've not gone too far back and hope that I've given clearance for the wheels. So that is what we are now checking for. I have gone, the chassis is pressing quite tight at the back there, and I've not quite got enough clearance for the wheels. As you can see there, they are rubbing against it. This is why we test things. So we lose roughly a millimetre off each side now. Well, you showed one small part of the picture. Yes, and that's it. I only showed the part of the picture that is relevant for the educational purpose I was showing it for. I did not show the whole picture. I cropped out everything that was not relevant to the educational purpose I was showing it for. Do we think I got away with it? And so we want to test it again. So we put the floor in. That's all looking good to me now. Excellent stuffs. Everything has the room it needs. What we now need to do is get a back piece for the bunker, which will be 10mm plus this bit on the end. And its width will be the same as this bit here, because it needs to slide in and out. This pen had a lid a second ago. I don't lose things on this live stream. There's the lid. See, it's got a lid on it again. Wound cap floor, quite brilliant. Thank you guys, much appreciated. What the bot says is true. I do have an Instagram and I remembered to post to it today, so Luke doesn't need to tell me off. It's always good when Luke doesn't need to tell me off. And that fits quite nicely. And there we have our first bit of the cab internals almost done. I know where the two bits of line I need to follow are, or the two marks I need to follow, and they are the bits right on the edge. So it doesn't matter that the rest is really wobbly. God, it's nearly 11 o'clock. I never even noticed that. I was just thinking, I wonder what the time is. I wonder if it's reaching 10:30 yet. Because I was going to say, now that we're halfway, are there any updates on the projects everyone else is working on? But I can't say that if halfway was quarter of an hour ago. So now that we're quarter of an hour past halfway, are there any updates to the projects everyone else is working on? Oh, and there's a Patreon and donate link coming in from Linny. Thank you very much, Linny. It's very much appreciated. Giving Train Controller a break and working on renumbering 47. All very nice. You've done all your 50s now. It was 50s you were working on before, wasn't it? So I believe that is going to be a bit too tall for this chassis. Yes, ever so slightly. That's fine. I could tell it was because I could see the top of it poking out. Right. That's how much we want to lose. Well remembered, I have indeed renumbered and DCC stale. I fitted all in the 50s. All that needs to be done with those spot varnishing. Very nice. And hello Luke, who is apparently still there. Aren't you glad you didn't have to tell me off about Instagram today? Make sure we get that seated just right. Ah, fits perfect, that's what we like. Absolutely perfect. So we will drop some super glue on that. And whilst we let that set, we shall take a measure of this section here, which is 14mm, and we shall cut a section of this to 14mm. We will go from this corner. Do you know what? I am excellent. I'm glad you are happy you didn't have to tell me off about Instagram. The problem with Instagram, of course, I don't even normally look at it very often. Unless I'm going on for something related to the live stream, or if it pops up a notification. So sometimes I just forget it exists. Yeah, just been taking my M7 apart. Found the motor to be defective. That's no good, Luke. We don't like defective motors. We want motors that work. Hence why the prop ended up in a plastic bag. No, that's a... Oh, I didn't know that M7s had propellers. I thought they were like steam drive pistons and stuff, like a regular steam engine. Didn't know they were driving a propeller. Or that you would put it in a plastic bag for that matter. Sent an email to Oxford Rail, as yet no reply. Well, I'm not. Well, when did you send it, Luke? Because if you've only just sent it, I'm not surprised that you've not had a reply. Disapprove of defective motors, as do I, James. As do I. Right, that should be all we need of that. That should now be the right width. It is indeed the right width. Yeah, that's solid enough that we can take it out, he says, hopefully. And we're just going to draw around the inside of the boiler so that we can then cut that to the right shape. We'll cut it slightly over large and do the final clean up and shaping with the files. Let me just reply to Luke taking my joke a bit too seriously. Prop in the motor vehicle world is short for prop shaft. Yes, I'm well aware of that, Luke. Very, very well aware of that. Need I remind you who does all the work to my transit when Dave's not about? So there we have the rough shape. That file's doing nothing for me. It's well and truly dead now, that fish belly file. That's got our corners. What am I meant to be taking seriously? My joke about prop shafts, Luke. And, you know, I know for a fact that if you'd have taken it as a joke, you would have just replied, ha, as you do to all my non-funny jokes. That's most of them, by the way, in case you were wondering. So the 1897 livery specification for Strata carriages suggests teak painted steel soul bar filter plates, i.e. the visible bit of the soul bar was painted with teak graining. Fair enough. Look at Linny and their ability to read. Last engage thing, that is a new level of intricacy. It is, isn't it, James? Didn't hear the joke. You did, Luke, because you responded to it. The joke was me thinking you meant propeller when you said prop. That was the joke. I know it wasn't funny, it was one of my jokes. Now, how's that coming up on camera? Quite well, it seems. We have a nice join there for the front of this onto. Forgot there's a big wet bit of super glue there. That was clever, wasn't it? Yeah, we've got a nice join onto the boiler now. Well, as suggested in my chat on Friday, I just downloaded the Euro thing with 91 reskin. No idea what to do with them though. Your chat on Friday, Alex, would this be your live stream that is on Friday nights, yeah? That's where your chat on Friday nights happens, isn't it? Waits for a comment from Alex. We had a deal. I was just asking a question, Alex. I was just asking a question. This is not going to be easy to get glued in place now. Look, there's the bot trying to get you all to donate at streamlabs.com/ikillmodelrailway/tips, I think. I think that's what it is. Can someone go there and, if it's possible to leave money, you know, just leave some money there and test it, make sure it works. I'm not sure. That's stuck in, hopefully. Quite obvious what you do with them. Sit them in Leicester Yard along a load of other broken locos. I mean, I can see where he's coming from, Alex. So the LB&SCR milk bags, in its original wooden underframe, has brown sole bars. Looks like they were later in painted mahogany. Ah, fair enough. Fair enough. Remember, kids, hydration is important as we reach the final hour of the live stream. That's the Bluebell one, of course. I assumed the Bluebell one, yes. Oh, JT finished the new extension, less the Archer in the game, so you might be on to something there. See, I knew he had a point there. I just knew it. Right, now that we've glued that, let's test the chassis with it. Too big, the chassis don't fit. Like Gary needs to repaint his Stroudley underframes. It does, doesn't it? Never mind, worse things have happened. It's about that much too big. I've got a glue line there that I can easily line that up with. That's what I was just checking. I can tack that in place so it will hold when we put it upside down. And then I can do a final couple of prods of positioning it. That didn't work because I twisted it. Otherwise that would have gone really nicely. Now this will be a boring scenario, but it will be accurate and you'll be able to get good screenshots. So that scenario could be delivering stuff to the yard and they could just be sat in the background. That's very true. And Linny has donated $1. Looks like the donation button works. Every penny helps, folks. Indeed. Thank you, Linny. Brilliant. That was excellent. I was not expecting anyone to actually donate when I said that either. It was indeed meant to be a giggle. Does someone want to explain to me how that's now too short by the amount I just cut off? Anyone got an explanation for that? Because that makes no sense to me. Well, now you can buy 2 whole Freddos with that money. No, I can't. That goes into the stream's PayPal account, which is completely separate to my PayPal account, and will only get used on stuff for the live stream. Measure twice, cut once, swear, cut a new one. Maybe it was the right length to start with because it hates you, Gary. Yeah, I'm with Becca here. Becca has got the only right answer. Isn't the answer always because reasons? That's true. Won't the backhead go there anyway? Yes, but it's all. Whilst the backhead is going to be there, this part is going to make sure when the cab slots in, it's in the right place. Now, I should point out, I did measure, I did then cut, and I then trial fitted. Once it was trial fitted, the chassis was not fit on properly and was sticking down by about that much, so I cut that much off. Then I put the chassis on, then I put it all back together, and we're that much short. That does. I see no logic. No, donate $1, not a pound. That's very true, Linny. You did donate $1, not a pound. See, which is less than a pound. It is, although not by much anymore. I'll tell you what, I never thought I would be one of those people benefiting from the economy tanking. But I get paid in dollars. Well, that's a terrible thing to say, isn't it? A whole strip of it here. I don't need more. I don't really want to have to recut this bit. There we go. Never mind, eh? Doesn't actually slow us down by much. There we go. Now we have a confirmation that Luke is not blind. Isn't that good to know, everyone? He once may have been blind, but now he sees. Wow, there's an odd reference to make. I mean, if you came here expecting references that make sense, then I'm sorry. But I feel that's more on you than it is on me. And it's okay, because I know Luke didn't come here expecting references he gets. Proof of not being blind, as do I, Linny. As do I. Oh, Alex, I forgot to tell you. The good lady Alex has been introducing Luke to culture. And it's brilliant. It's the fish belly. Where's the round one? There's the round one. It was in the pot. See that blind man? See, said the blind man to the death. Oh, something. Bush. So he didn't expect the Spanish Inquisition. Rack and peanut railway tumbleweed rolls past. I mean, no one's actually responded to my comment in the way I meant it, Alex. So you've got that still. Yeah, she's been introducing him to Carry On films. And such forth. I think it's only clips from them, but Luke is starting to get pop culture. Well, yeah, not modern pop culture references, but he's starting to get references from before he was born. Oh, and something about rubber chickens as well, isn't there, Luke? If you want to get these references, then you need to come to my Discord server. Where there is a not quite nightly voice chat in the coronavirus support group, known as the Winchester Pub. Lockdown support group, even. That's what I meant, lockdown. Where Luke frequently gets tortured. Now that is going to be too long. I can see it already. No. You don't get glue. You don't drip the glue down and glue yourself to the inside because you're too long. That went really well, didn't it? I know you're too long because you were sticking out the bottom of the loco. And we definitely don't want the cab floor sticking out the bottom of the loco. No bot, you can wait. That's better, we're not sticking out the bottom of the loco now. Remember kids, hydration is important. So now, we try this again. And we discover that it's just the right length, it's exactly what we want it to be, and then we knock it out of place, of course we do. Super glue, terrible at sticking together the parts you want, great at sticking your fingers together. Stupid blooming super glue. So, what else is on the agenda for this evening? I believe that is the bodywork done. Oh, we've got the cab roof to do as well. Because I'm tempted, very tempted, to build a cab roof out of plastic art just to prove it can be done. I'd probably end up not using it and resin casting this one though, to be fair. Am I getting extra bits of Gary's fingers with my loco? No. We stuck, my fingers stuck to each other, not to your loco, it's fine. Yeah, there's no bits of my fingers on there. Oh yes, and we need to make the condensing pipes as well, don't we? That is a very good point. And I have all my bits down here to do that now. Once that has dried, I need to trim down the edges of that. But we can wait until that has dried to do that. Oh yes, and I completely forgot about lamp irons. Oops. So I normally forget about lamp irons, and then it's the last minute I'm looking over the loco thinking, God, doesn't this look stunning? And then I'll look at a picture and go, oh, lamp irons. Do I have any brass rods? It should be in this bag. It's not in the easy to view places of this bag. Oh, now look at that. That's obviously one I gave up on because I didn't do it properly. Look, Linny. There's one of your carriages in plastic. It's all there. And in fact, there's enough parts there to build that up to be the same thicknesses as all the MDF bits as well. Well, the brass rod isn't there, but would you believe this bit of correct size plastic rod is flexible enough? Thought I'd best try it and see. So I could, in theory, make the condensing pipes out of that. Where's my washers? There's my washers. Check it is the right size, because these are correct size for the ends. Yes, look, it is. It's the right diameter. Everything's coming up, Millhouse. Always add them if you don't have any brass strip. So I was going to use brass rod, same thickness as this. And oh, you mean the lamp irons? Of course you do. I do have some in there. Oh, I should have some in there. I should have some proper lamp irons somewhere. I don't ever use them. That's why I know I still have some. Because I've always just used the staples. And there is a cab interior, sort of. Now let's check that against the marking on here. That looks right to me still. I'm going to check it on everything possible before I even consider. I think I have extra ones kicking about. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm going to check it on absolutely everything possible to make sure that it's right. I've got my loco as well. Oh, that looks a bit thick, actually. What we're going to do is we're going to slice a bit off, because it has literally been years since I've bought any of this. So we're going to slice a bit off and see if it looks up right, because it does. It seems to be the right size on everything except for that, where it looks very, very slightly too big. And I do mean very. And if this isn't right, then I will have to find what I've done with my brass rod that I was going to use. Slightly too long, that's what we were going for. Always make your first cut over long. Stop getting stuck in the ruler. That is the right length. Now that should also be over long, but at this stage it should give us an idea on whether I'm right about this being the right size or if I'm right about it being slightly too big. I am definitely coming to the persuasion that this is slightly too big. Let's chop a little bit more off there so we can get it slightly closer in. Yeah, I'm pretty certain now that that is too big. What do we think? Obviously it's in the wrong place. That's not what we're going for here. I'm going for I think it's too big. Put that washer away because those are the right size for the backing, for the plates that bolt onto the tank sides and the smoke box sides. I can do words, honest. Hydration is important. Yeah, see, there we go. Everyone knows it. So I'll have to find what I've done with those brass cloths. Because I know the ones I had were the same thickness as the pipes on here. I'm too tired. Good night. Good night, Becca. Thank you for coming by. It has been fantastic to have you here as always. And I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Oh, there's another one. Oh, look, Linny, that's one of your brakes. And that's clearly the one I actually built. And rather a lot of head-code discs. No, they're definitely not in there. Although the sheet that I made the turntable for Bright Helmstone is, that's the tabletop, that's the ribbon around the outside and the bottom of the table. See, I really did scratch build it. I mean, there's actually photographic evidence of that online, so you don't need that evidence, but shh, let's not discuss that. See, I would have remembered lamp irons when I looked at mine and saw the discs on it. That's what we need to do. There's work on there's detailed work on the chassis. In that bag. Everything else there looks like we don't need it right this second. But what we have in here, now I keep forgetting are in here because they're in the bag with the pickups, is the guard irons. check out the Oak Hill Discord. There's a link to Discord. You know we're getting late in the stream when that one pops up. That's for all of you who really do stick with me. Now I'm guessing when these go on, they go up into there, that way round. About there. Because there's a little bit that pokes backwards there. And I don't believe there is an explosive diagram for that. No, there isn't. But I'm quite sure that is how it works, and they stick out next to the wheels, because if they were anywhere else they wouldn't be next to the wheels. Make pretty rubbish guard irons. Yes, see, that's how they go. I am right. Sometimes. So let's turn that soldering iron back on, shall we? And we'll get the other one for the back cut. Whilst right, it will do the ones for the fronts, which actually have lines down them where you cut them. Excellent. And there is another bit of scrap etch now. The iron is hot, so we'll drop some flux into these gaps. We'll make sure we've got the right one on the right side. Getting brakes, remember that my driving wheels are the wrong size. Guard irons at this stage, not brakes. I do remember that your driving wheels are the wrong size. Because at first it put me in a bit of a panic. It's when because of course I noticed that mine were a different size to yours. I thought, oh god, if I put the wrong size wheels on mine. And I had to go and look it up and then measure them. At the moment it's a bit low, but that's because we need to fit some bearings on this back axle. Well, in fact, we're going to fit some springing on the back axle. So we'll have a small amount of suspension. now that we've made sure they fit. We'll get some flux on. And solder. And yes, I do get to take breaks like that in the middle of a sentence. There we go. Guard irons on the chassis. Much better. We need to slice the side of this cap. Last week, I've installed well over 100 train sim ring skin patch enhancement pack mods. I hate train sim. No one's forcing you, Alex. No one is forcing you. So this is slightly too wide. And he's getting stuck between the wheels. There we go, that's that side done. That totally wasn't way more effort than I expected it to be. Could you tell? And here we are down to the final 20 minutes. Which of course we all know is the average expected lifespan for World War I of a newly trained World War I fighter pilot in the Royal Flying Corps. Oh, that's just typical, isn't it? Oh no, it's okay, I've just not put it in straight. Might just chop into that corner very slightly though, because it appears that's where it wants to sit. And let's make sure again that it fits properly. It does indeed. We have a fully fitted cabin interior piece. We have guard irons. We have handrail knobs. We have a handrail dart. We have buffers. And, as I say, we still have 20 minutes to go. Way, hey, hey. So, let's modify those vacuum pipes and get them fitted. Actually left the iron on this time. There is one. There is cover. I have my one sitting next to me, so I know what side they're going on. So Linny, I've remembered something else we were going to get for this, but we didn't get in that from Peter's Spares. You were going to buy some coupling hooks. So because this doesn't want the stand up on a pole tile of that type, it wants one that dangles down, we can cut that off, the hole in the buffer beam there, and we get the correct type of pipe. So we cut the section of pipe that we want, plus a tiny bit more to feed through a hole in the buffer beam, leaving us with yet more scrap. Oh no, the roof didn't fall off, that never happened, don't be silly. So we then drill a hole through the buffer beam. I was starting to think that I'd gone somewhere there wasn't a hole behind. And then we do the same on the other side. So I just fear for you if I miss anything. You missed my revelation that we forgot to order coupling hooks for your loco. Right, I've done myself a hurry. It seems like you've got some work done on the kit. I have indeed. That's literally all I've been doing, Max. Amazingly. She's slowly coming along. But we are basically there now. With details to the body. It needs its new cab roof making. Which, I said earlier, I'm tempted to scratch build one to show it can be done. But at the same time, I doubt I will scratch build one good enough to actually use on someone else's loco. Oops, oh well, looks like you're going to work on it next week too, which means I have longer to work on the carriages. I'll tell you what, 15 minutes to go, Linny. I think it was past the point of I wonder if we'll be working on it next week still. No, that doesn't want to go on. It needs a bit more flux. Maybe a bit of a polish. Guessing fitting the XO4 motor will be next. It's not getting an XO4. It's getting a much more modern motor so that it can have a detailed cab. Because Linny would like to have a detailed cab. And I cannot say I blame them. A detailed cab does make a huge difference to a loco. Whereas an XO4 would basically take up the entire cab space. Right, that's tacked in place well enough that I can flip it upside down and get a blob of solder on the back. No, I didn't think that had held on to it. And of course it's melted the solder on the outside when I've put it on. So it's no longer tacked in place. Oh, that's different. Good, but different. It is definitely different, yes. But, Max, if you look at my D1, it looks good having a crew and a cab. Makes a rather large difference to the loco. Whereas you can see on here, the mounting plate for the X04 goes right to the back of the chassis. There we go, that's held it in place. What was the Billington rebuild, and was there not a Scottish copy? The Billington, the rebuilds of these had a different chimney, dome, and safety valves and whistle, so I'm guessing they had a completely different boiler off the top of my head. There were very similar Scottish locos. Linny would be better to answer a question about Scottish locos than me. And you never know, maybe even about the rebuild, because the ability to look things up. But hello Will, how are you this evening? I hope you are well. I know there were similar locos to the Terrier, but I don't know about the D1. Fair enough. Right, that's already looking dirty. And we don't want to be back where we were a minute ago with it all falling off because I've not cleaned it, do we? Breathe in. I mean, that's a start. And there we go. That is that finished. We have 5 minutes left. I'm not going to put the cab detail back in. But yes, Linny, as we discussed the other day, the lack of coupling hook is very, very noticeable. As is the chassis sticking out, so I've not put it on properly. Oh, made that a bit too thick at the back there, haven't I? That was silly. Because this back one sticks in slightly. Been working on a narrowboat gondola. Oh, very nice indeed. But yeah, it's very noticeable, isn't it? Definitely look at scale couplings, maybe just wire loops for the tension locks. I mean, you might be alright with proper closer to scale couplings than my Smith's ones. You know, so something like the Hornby or the Bachmann, which I believe I do have both of, and proper tension locks. Because obviously they don't dangle quite as far as the Smith's ones do. But for tonight, this is our lot. It is 4 minutes to midnight. So I'm going to pop the chassis back off. Pop the cab back in. Steal the roof off my D1 again. How much will this thing pull? That's a very good question. It should be quite a good puller because it's quite heavy. So it should be able to pull a decent load, but it will depend on what the motor's feeling like. I really kind of want to test it once we've got it built before it goes back to Linny, to be honest. Being built for 86 Stroutlers, 4 6-wheelers and 2 4-wheelers made of card, very light, very free running. Yet some of Linny's laser cut ones, which are fantastic models, as we know from my earlier streams where we covered them. But right now, what we can see here is a fantastic looking D1 to pull them. Looking at on the big screen, I can see lots of lumps that aren't really there in real life, such as on the front of the smoke box, the back of the smoke box, sorry, where it looks like there's a big lump because of the way the light's shining off a bit of solder compared to how it's shining off the white metal. There is no lump there at all. That's very strange. Never mind, you'll lose all that once it gets the Copa primer on it. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, here we have one of Mr. Strouter's wonderful D1 classes. She is a very nice loco. She has come together very well. We're basically there now. I believe we'll be working on motorising it. Next week, we do have a motor over in this part of the box. Got to use the right. Got to go to the right bit of box. So we do have a motor ready. You'll have to give it a Mr. Primer then for next time. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that's going to stop me giving it a Mr. Primer now. I will double check and make sure, but I believe I could give it a Mr. Primer for next week. That's a very good point, Linny. There is a link to my Twitter from the bot. Looks good, thank you, Corbs. Looking very nice, Mr. Oak. Thank you, Linny. So yes, that is your lot as we roll over to midnight. I would like to thank you all for coming. You have been absolutely fantastic as always. It has been great sitting here chatting to you as we have done this. It has been wonderful to know you're all interested enough. Looking beautiful. Thank you, Killian. I believe that's your first message tonight, isn't it? Thank you for coming. Yes, thank you everyone for coming. So you're all fantastic people. You keep this channel going. I really do appreciate it. Awesome streams always do. Night all. Thank you, Alex. So yes, all that is left to say is to remind you, drop down there, smash the like button, smash the dislike button if you really didn't like the stream. And you know, once it becomes a video, leave me a comment to tell me why you didn't like it. Whilst you're down there, hit the subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you get alerted whenever I upload or go live. There will, as I said earlier, be a video looking at a layout update for Birch Hill again this Tuesday. There has been a lot of progress made there and I cannot wait for you to see it. There will be the Let's Build review on Thursday, looking back at what we have done tonight, and then we shall return here next Sunday where I believe we will be looking at getting a motor fitted to this D1. Nice day, guys. Thank you, Matt. Thank you for streaming. Thank you, Heritage Railway Productions. So yes, I have been Gary. You have been fantastic. This has been Let's Build. Thank you for watching.